We are seeing the lesson Nelson Mandela. What's his full name?
Nelson Mandela.
Okay, so we have seen the introduction of this lesson in the previous class, and now let's start with the lesson. 10th May dawned bright and clear. So we discussed that elections were held. When were the elections held? On 10th May. Were the elections held on 10th May? Be clear? Were the elections held on 10th May or the inauguration was on 10th May? Inauguration was on 10th May. What inauguration occasion was held on 10th May? Oath taking. Okay? Or else what we can say? Investiture of Nelson Mandela and other deputies. Okay? Right. Where was this inauguration held? Yes, Union of South Africa. Is it South Africa? Pretoria. What is Pretoria? Capital city of South Africa. Right. So 10th May dawn bright and clear. So dawn means began to brighten. So the 10th May, that day, it was very bright and clear. Will there be any difference, in each and every day? Some days brighter, some days clear, some days dark. Huh? Will there be any change like that? No change? Yesterday it was so cloudy. Today it's so clear, sunny, right? But does this word mean the same? 10th May dawn, bright and clear. That day started very brightly and clearly. Means here, it's not that sunny day, bright here means it was very happy on that day. For the past few days, I had been pleasantly besieged by dignitaries and the world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. For the past few days, before this occasion, before 10th May, for the past 2 days, he had been pleasantly besieged by means surrounded by. Okay? I had been. Whom does the word I refers to here? Nelson Mandela. So Nelson Mandela, he had been pleasantly surrounded by the dignitaries and world leaders. Who was he surrounded by? Dignitaries as well as the world leaders who were coming to pay their respects before the inauguration. So for the past few days, all these people were coming to Pretoria for the inauguration occasion and they were giving their respect to Nelson Mandela. The inauguration would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South Africa soil. So how the inauguration was going to be? It would be the largest gathering. When do we use the word superlative? Largest, highest, smallest. When do we use the word superlative? When it is the highest one. Superlative degree is used when it is the highest one. So it would be the largest gathering ever of international leaders on South Africa soil. On the soil of South Africa, we say, Bharata Gadda Mida, Matti Mida antar kada. So, on the South African soil, that would be the largest meeting held, inauguration, where all the international leaders would gather. Okay. The ceremonies took place in a lovely sandstone amphitheater formed by the Union buildings in Pretoria. So, we have already seen that this inauguration was going on in Pretoria. So for that, the ceremonies took place in a lovely sandstone amphitheater. Already we have seen what is amphitheater in the previous class. Okay, so it was for this ceremonies. Generally the ceremonies take place in that wonderful amphitheater by the Union buildings in Pretoria. For decades, this had been the seat of white supremacy. Decade means what? What's the span of decade? 10 years. 10 years. For some years together, okay, this had been the seat of white supremacy. That area, that Pretoria was what we can say, it had been serving as the seat for the white supremacy. So white authorities used to occupy the seats in that area for the past years. And now it was the site of a rainbow gathering of different colors and nations for the installation of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. And now for the first time in the year, in the year 1994, for the first time after many years, how the occasion was going to be? It's a site of rainbow gathering. When do we call a rainbow? What do we call a rainbow? Multicolored. Rainbow is nothing but multicolored. So a combination of all colors. So here rainbow gathering means combination of gathering of different caste, creed, religion, everything. So different colors, nations. What for all this are being gathering there? For the installation means yesterday we discussed, induction or investiture of South Africa's first democratic non-racial government. So what is the inauguration occasion going to happen there? The inauguration of South Africa's first democratic and non-racial government. Non-racial means where there won't be any segregation of color, whatever it may be. Okay. On that lovely autumn day, I was accompanied by my daughter Zinani. Who is Zinani? Daughter of Nelson Mandela. So, on that lovely autumn day, what does the word that refers to here? On the day of inauguration. So, what season was that? Autumn season. Generally, when do we have, are we south or are we north? Is India in north or is India in south? North? Is it in north? Northeast? Okay. So this is a lovely autumn day. That inauguration day was a lovely autumn day. In South Africa, autumn begins from 20th March to 20th June. Okay? And I was accompanied. Accompanied means he came along with his daughter Zenani. On the podium, Mr. De Klerk was first sworn in as second deputy president. So, this Nelson Mandela, he was elected as, what was he elected as? President of? Okay, first here on the podium, podium means what? The one which we use on the dais for occasions. So on the podium, Mr. De Klerk. So what's the name of that person? De Klerk. He was first sworn in. Sworn in means first he took the oath and he entered into his position as a second deputy president. What's the position of De Klerk? Then Thabo Mbeki was sworn in as first deputy president. First, who was sworn in? First, who was sworn in? Second deputy president. First, who sworn in?
Second deputy president.
What's his name? Second deputy president's name? De Klerk. Okay. After that, who sworn in? First deputy president sworn in. Who sworn in second? First deputy president. What's the name of first deputy president? Thabo Mbeki. When it was my turn, I pledged to obey and uphold the Constitution and to devote myself to the well-being of the Republic and its people. So when it was my turn, whom does the word my refers to here? So when it was the turn of Nelson Mandela, what did he do? He pledged to obey and uphold. Every day in the morning in the assembly, we all pledge. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. Right. So like that, he also pledged to obey and uphold the Constitution. Okay. So I hereby pledge that I obey and uphold the Constitution and devote myself to the well-being of the Republic and its people. This was the pledge made by Nelson Mandela. To the assembled guests and the watching world, I said. So all the people assembled there, gathered there. To that assembled guests and the whole world who was watching. So whenever a great occasion occurs, automatically all the news channels publish the news in news channels, isn't it? So even if we can't go there, we can sit comfortably in our house and watch. So the world, the watching world, to the world, he said something on that day. What? Today, all of us do by our presence here confer glory and hope to newborn liberty. Today, as we all gathered here, okay, all of us do by our presence for here confer glory, means let's all give glory and hope to the newborn liberty. Liberty means what here? Freedom. Why is it called as newborn liberty? Because the liberty was born newly on that day especially. Because for the past years, who ruled? Whites ruled, and they were the supreme powers till that day. And that day, liberty was born. So a newborn liberty. So let us give glory to the newborn liberty. Who said these words? To whom did Nelson Mandela say these words? To all the assembled people there and the watching world. Out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, must be born a society of which all humanity will be proud. So out of the experience, an extraordinary human disaster. So till now, this soil, this land experienced extraordinary human disaster. What is that extraordinary? What was the extraordinary human disaster experienced by South Africans? Apartheid, social segregation. So it was a very big disaster, human disaster, the people had experienced till then, right? So out of the experience of an extraordinary human disaster that lasted too long, so that disaster lasted for many years, okay? And from that, born a society of which all humanity will be proud. So out of all, after experiencing all these apartheid, now liberty was newly born, where all the humanity will be proud. Where all the humanity will be proud. We who were outlaws not so long ago have today been given the rare privilege to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. So, who were outlaws? Just underline it. Who were outlaws? Means persons with no normal relations with others. The people who do not have normal relationships with others. So who are we here? Who are we? The people, listen, who are we? You can see that comma. We, the people who do not have proper relationships with others for so long ago, have today been given the rare privilege. So for so many years, we were the people who didn't have proper relationships with others. Means we were not treated equally with other people. Today, we have been given the rare privilege, the rare opportunity, the rare, pride to be host to the nations of the world on our own soil. Till now on our own soil, we were treated as slaves. We didn't have any equal rights. Till today, we were treated as, even not a person like, but today, we were privileged. We have got an opportunity as to be the host of the nations of the world on our own soil. We thank all our distinguished international guests for having come to take possession with the people of our country of what is, after all, a common victory for justice, for peace, for human dignity. So, we thank all our distinguished dignitaries. Okay? Who are the dignitaries there? International guests. Who attended that occasion? international guests. Right. So we thank all our dignitaries, international guests. What for was Nelson Mandela thanking the dignitaries, thanking the international guests for having come to take the possession. So for coming there and to take possession and with the people of our country, with whom are they going to take possession? Of South African people. What is after all a common victory for justice, peace, for human dignity. So what is the victory here? So Nelson Mandela, he stood in elections and how many seats did he win? 252 seats did he won. So what is it symbolizes? What does it symbolize? It symbolizes victory. It symbolizes victory for justice, victory for peace, and victory for human dignity. Isn't it? Because of his struggle, because of his efforts kept for so many years, after suffering for so many years from the supremacy of white people, they got freedom, or they have won over justice. They have got victory for justice, for peace, and also human dignity. Okay? We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. So we have at last, why the word at last is used here? After many years of suffering. After many years of suffering, at last we achieved our political emancipation. Emancipation means freedom. What is meant by emancipation? Freedom. So we have achieved political freedom. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people. Liberate means free, make free. So we pledge ourselves to make all our people free from continuing bondage of poverty. So all the people, as they were ill-treated and as they were not given equal rights, they were all in poverty, the bondage of poverty. Bondage means what? Bandalu we say. Bandal means not relations. They were in that grips. So bondage of poverty. So we pledge on this occasion, we pledge that we give freedom, or we give liberty to all our people from the bondage of poverty and deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discriminations. Whatever the discriminations are prevailing now, till now, we make all our people free from all those things. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. So this we have seen in the previous article itself, news article. So he said that till now our land suffered a lot of slavery. Never will this land experience the same again. Never, never and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience. This beautiful land, which land is referred here? So this land will never experience the oppression of one by another. Okay? There won't be any oppression of one person or one race on the other race. And such will never be repeated on this beautiful land. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. So, generally what do we say? The sunset, what do we refer the sunset? Sunrise is referred to the victory, right? So here, the sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. This achievement is a very glorious one. This human achievement. What is the human achievement they achieved? They got freedom, political freedom. They got equal rights. Now they are going to be treated as human beings with equal rights. Okay, so that was the greatest or the glorious human achievement, and freedom from all the social evils. That is the achievement they got. So this will continue. The sun will never set on this glorious achievement. A few moments later, we all lifted our eyes in awe as a spectacular array of South African jets, helicopters and troop carriers rode in formation over the Union buildings. Have you ever observed Independence Day celebrations in Delhi, New Delhi? So there a parade will be conducted, isn't it? So in that parade, all the armies, different departments participate, right? Even you might have observed the jet planes with flag colors moving in the sky, isn't it? It's all the celebration, a part of celebration, and it's giving respect to the who stands there. PM stands there, isn't it, in the celebration. So here, a few moments later, we all lifted our eyes. Whom does the word we refers to? All the people who gathered there in that Pretoria, that ground. So they all lifted their eyes, and what did they see? They saw a spectacular array. So it was an amazing spectacular. Spectacular means Kanula Vindu, isn't it? Colorful. Array means an orderly arrangement. They have seen amazing orderly arrangement of South African jets. Jets means what? Jet planes, helicopters, troop carriers. They rode in perfect formation over the Union buildings. So all these planes, they were moving in the air in a perfectly ordered manner, and they were celebrating. It was not only a display of pinpoint precision and military force, but a demonstration of the military's loyalty to democracy. It's not just a show. It's not just for demonstration. Demonstration means what? To show something, to exhibit something. All these performances is not just for exhibition or what we can say, show, but it's a demonstration of military's loyalty to the democracy. What is it? It's the military's loyalty. Okay? Loyalty means what? Faithfulness to the democracy, to the new government that had been freely and fairly elected. So all this was done not just for demonstration, not just for show off, but also it is a demonstration for the military loyalty to the freely and fairly elected government. Okay. Only moments before, the highest generals of the South African Defence Force and Police, their chests bedecked with ribbons and medals from days gone by, saluted me and pledged their loyalty. So, before this occasion, all, the the police people, the higher cadres, you might have observed, they, for their achievements, they will be given some badges, ribbons, isn't it? So that occasion was completed moments before. The highest generals of South Africa, they were kept ribbons and medals from days gone by, and those people, after getting their badges and after getting their ribbons, they saluted Nelson Mandela and pledged their loyalty. Okay, so if we watch August 15th celebration, what all is in this paragraph, you can witness it in that video. Tomorrow we'll see that video. Okay.